maybe I'll just close with this. It seems to me that in any philosophy of science or in any epistemology of science, scientific inquiry, what counts, what is neutral between competing paradigms is reality itself. And I think that's going to be the case for any area of human inquiry, whether it's scientific, philosophical, theological, moral, aesthetic, political, whatever. Reality is neutral between competing beliefs that we have. Things are what they are. Now, I'm neither a scientist nor a philosopher of science, and about the only philosophy of science that I thought about is relativism and Thomas Kuhn's work on scientific revolutions from his book, The Structure of Scientific Revolutions. So that's what he thinks a paradigm is. As Kuhn's work comes out in the mid-90s, this Structure of Scientific Revolutions. For example, Kuhn gives a case of a chemist and a physicist being asked whether a single atom of helium was or was not a molecule. The chemist from his paradigm answers yes, and the physicist from his paradigm answers no. This seems to indicate that the answer to specific scientific questions is a matter of reference to a paradigm. In his introduction to his chapter, Revolutions as Changes of Worldview, Kuhn writes, quote, "The scientist can have no recourse to what he sees with his eyes and instruments. If there were some higher authority by recourse to which his vision might be shown to have shifted, then that authority would itself become his source of data." End quote. Now, this seems to be a denial of a kind of extra-paradigmatic standard for scientific judgment, i.e. no neutrality. Ptolemaic astronomers attempted to establish the proposition P, where P is the Earth is the center of planetary motion for our system, planetary system, by means of the following standard of evaluation. So this would be a Ptolemaic standard of evaluation. Conceptual economy, the ability to explain common sense experiences, and understandability. On the other hand, Copernican astronomers attempted to establish proposition Q, where Q is the sun is the center of planetary motion. It's the center of our planetary system, by means of a standard of evaluation S2, where S2 is fruitfulness, for example, i.e. that is the effectiveness of theories as guides for research and frameworks for the organization of knowledge. Right? So you've got now these two propositions and two different conceptual schemes by means of which, or we call them paradigms, which are standards of evaluation, one Ptolemaic and one Copernican. Okay, so now the question is, what do you do in cases like that? Right. So according to the relativists, given these different standards of evaluation, there's no neutral way to determine which standard to use. And thus there's no neutral way to establish P or Q over and above the other.